Hello, this is the writing workshop for the process analysis essay. Okay, so you are going to write a 3 to 5 page paper. Again, that's 750 to 1,000 words. So it's 750 to 1,000 word essay. And make sure it's an MLA format. This time I will not accept it if it's not an MLA format. So make sure you don't have to resubmit it. Make sure you make it MLA format. Okay, if you do not make it MLA format, I will take off 10 points. Okay, I will give you a chance to resubmit, but I'll talk to you that day. Okay. So just make sure you do it in MLA format. Please don't resubmit it. If you resubmit it, it's automatic -5. Okay. So, but if you don't change it, it's -10. Okay. So please, please, please get it right. Get it in MLA format. Okay. Email me if you don't understand. But you should just refer to the handout or the video. Okay, sorry, that sounded a little bit harsh, but it's very important to have your papers in MLA formatting. And if you do already, good, great job. Okay, so what do we have to do now? Please read the following choices for your process analysis essay. Fill in the answers below. Okay, so here are your choices. So step one, we have the writing prompts. That means the choices about what you're going to write about. The first one actually comes from the first chapter that you read about process analysis, um, because the one on Jason Beverly's essay, which was called My Journey, I'm sorry, My Pilgrimage, that question was about your personal goals, and a lot of you already wrote about that for the description essay, so we're going to not do personal goals, and instead we're going to talk about a process of an activity or event that you have participated in as part of a community, right? Such as a religious community. So if there's a religious ceremony, for instance, um, people have written about confirmation and in Catholicism, in which they had to, it was quite a process, a 4 year process, or maybe, sorry, 3 year process of going to religious classes on Wednesday nights, um, all throughout freshman to junior year of high school. And so until they could be in this religious ceremony, which was confirmation. So they talked about the whole process of being confirmed. You could also talk about that one day or that 5 hour, for example, that was a 5 hour service. Exactly what happens in this 5 hour service. That also works. So this process means if you are a part of something that took time to prepare, took a month to prepare, in that case, took 3 years to prepare, right? There's a lot to write about and to share the steps of how to become confirmed or how this person became confirmed. Okay, so that was one example. So religious community. I know there's a lot of other things. People have written about bar mitzvahs. People have written about wedding. Wedding is also a religious ceremony. Um, and even if it isn't religious, you can write about an event such as a wedding because it's part of a community. Okay. So any community, your religion, your religious community, your neighbors. I know in my neighborhood they have this horrible, do I say it? They have this big, huge, in my opinion, horrible, just because I don't like the traffic it causes. But they have this yearly yard sale where everybody takes all their stuff and has this gigantic neighborhood yard sale. And I'm not involved in it, but I do know about a little bit about the process. And if I were to write about it, I would say step one is the committee gathers. Step two, they give everyone a role. Step three, they decide the date. Step four, they write the rules. Okay, so there's an example, a neighborhood yard sale. Um, Coworkers, did your coworkers, this can be for work or it can be for an outside work activity. Example, the company picnic. Okay, how did the process of the company picnic happen? Or also a project in your own real work, that's fine too. Something with your fellow students. I know a lot of you guys are in clubs. What activity did you do and tell the process of it? And a lot of you guys love sports. So whatever sports organization can mean a sports event, right? Soccer championship. How is it set up? What is the process? What is the process of getting to the championship? Okay, so you guys are really strong with these because you guys do have you have at least one of these communities. You are a part of at least one of these communities, so you will be able to write about it. So just make sure you write about the process. So that's one thing. Be careful. Don't just do a description. Do step one, step two, step three, right? How it comes together. Because that has tripped up people in the past and they're writing a narration or a description. You can borrow the elements of narration and description, but you still need to focus on the process. First step, second step, third step. Okay, and then I have some other examples. Someone wrote about the Walnut Creek Festival. Oh, what's it called? I forgot. Um, I don't remember. Oh, that's just called the Walnut Festival. Sorry. This Walnut Festival happens every summer. It's just about a traveling fair, how it's set up, how it is run, how it is how it is ran, I guess, how it is ran for a weekend, and how it's broken down in the course of 4 days. That was a really interesting one. This person had to do a bit of research. But it was really interesting because it's such a fast and interesting and very organized process that they do not just for the Walnut Festival, but for all over the country. So basically, it's a traveling fair. How they put how they set up how they get there, how they set up everything, how they organize how to run it, and how they break it down and take it out of here. That's only in 4 days. So that was really interesting. So there was another example. Okay. This is your community because this is your area, your city. Okay, so the next one, write an essay analyzing the process of your own current commute to work or school, or any other trip you make regularly. It seems meaningful or full or memorable. What do you see, think about, or feel during the journey? So I'm just going to give a quick example. If sounds like you, that's good. A lot of international students live right by DVC, and they have a process on Saturdays. Someone wrote about this, and other students also agreed that they do this. So I just want to share. So on Saturdays, they'd wake up, walk to the 7-Eleven, and walk to the mall, and they always had the same first. The process of waking up, and getting dressed. Second, going to the 7-Eleven to get the coffee. Third, walking over to the mall, and going to then going to store number one, store number two, store number three, that type of thing. So they have this like pattern of their Saturdays. Okay, and the trips that they made. Okay. All right. So that one is based on one of the readings in the book. Okay, so it's always about this one is about the process of a common trip. People have written about short trips, such as the commute to work, right? It could be 15 minutes. Many people who go to San Francisco on the weekends talk about that trip. It's pretty easy. First, you have to walk to the bus stop, then you have to take BART, then you're in the city, right? Um, Also, people who visit their grandparents. For example, someone visited their grandparents every summer in the Philippines, and they wrote about the same exact way of this event, of how they take that journey, right? The steps of taking that journey. Okay. Also, since you're also international students, do you have the same process of going home to visit your family? You can write that trip. Okay. And finally, your last choice is write a process analysis essay about something specific or technical that you know about, but others may not. So this one, I don't want you to look up anything. Okay. I won't, you can if you need a little bit of help, but basically this is something that you already know how to do. Most of you, for example, are really great with computers. So you can describe how to create a web page, right? Or how to set up an iPhone. Some stuff you know already. I don't want you to try to research and think of something else that you don't know. This should be something because that's going to make it more difficult for you. I do want you to write well, And so writing well really helps if you really know the subject, because I don't want you to focus all your time on researching how to do something. It should be something you already know how to do. This can be, so I did say scientific or technical. So this is actually inspired by the black hole story, but technical means sports too. Someone wrote a great process analysis essay on how to kick the perfect goal in soccer. Okay. Um, because there is a process to it. So technical means anything that you know how to do, anything you know how to do in sports, anything you know how to do at work. Someone wrote the process analysis essay on how to prepare a burrito at Taco Bell. It was a little short, but so they extended it and added how to prepare a whole meal, right? But the thing is it's so unbelievably step by step that you could write an essay about it. Okay. Um, so this should be something that you know very well. Someone also wrote about Japanese tea ceremony, because it's very, very formulated. Step one, step two, step three. Okay. So that's another thing. Also, the Japanese tea ceremony also could be with the organization. But the idea is that it's technical. Step one, step two, step three. Okay. So technical can mean sports. It can mean, I guess, how to do something in work. Okay. And this is like technique. Okay. Okay. So the essay could describe a process you have read about or one that you have learned and used in your everyday work or everyday or life or work life. Okay. And there's another example. I already said that. Okay. So actually, these are really strong. Most of the ones that people pick, as long as they pick a good topic that they actually know. Someone wrote an essay on how to make the perfect cup of coffee. And it worked because this person worked as a barista. Okay. So someone also wrote about how to serve dinner, right? Because they're a waitress. Okay. So the idea is that those things that you've done over and over and over again and learn to do them perfectly are good topics for this one. Okay. How to bag groceries. Okay. Someone wrote about that. There is a technique to bagging groceries. Okay. So the idea is that anything in your work life or your everyday life that you know very well, you know the process from start to finish. Okay. All right. So once you pick your essay topic, you need to write the question you've chosen. Just write one, two, or three. That's fine. Now here's where you work on your free writing. Please do some free writing. It says do it for 5 minutes. And then, of course, this is your thesis. So it's a three-tier thesis. You write your observation, your opinion, and your significance. Okay, so these stems really help you just to get the ideas flowing. I notice about my topic that, so if you're, excuse me, if you're writing about commute, what do you notice about your topic? Um, if it's a difficult commute, I noticed that about my topic that many people commute and it makes it difficult for me, or something like that. I think that commuting gives me time to think, or something like that. Okay. I, um, I think that my commute is down to as perfect. I commute perfectly, or something like that. And then my opinion matters to me and my reader because obvious for all most of these answers it will be because if you know how to do the process from A to B to C to D all the way to completion, um, you will understand how to do that task correctly. Or if it's your journey, like to work, your commute to work, you will have some kind of understanding and significance of it. Even though my commute is difficult now, maybe in the future it won't be because I'll be able to get my good job and buy a house closer to where I want to be or where I work, right? So there we go. So it doesn't just have to be, um, it can be a future significance as well. It doesn't have to be current. Okay. And then the important part is revise and revise and revise and revise again until you get your thesis statement sounding perfectly. That's really important because the thesis statement is like the backbone of your paper. Once you have that, then you can build upon it, or the foundation of your paper. Okay. All right. So take time. This should take you 40 minutes to an hour to complete this even more really if you can, but at least 45 minutes to an hour to complete this process analysis writing workshop, especially this one. Also, feel free to like work on it and then give yourself a break and come back to it. Okay. And also you'll have a chance to revise again in your with your rough draft. But I do highly recommend that you take time to come up with a thesis statement that will work really well. And it shouldn't be completely revised because again, it's the foundation and backbone of your paper. Okay, thank you. That's it for this one.